In the second part of this session, I want to consider ways in which we might be able to create opportunities. And that's what we're looking at now. Is there something we can do in our own behaviour which increases the chances of us having those kinds of luck experiences we're talking about? What can we do to create these kinds of opportunities? Now, one of these, I'm talking about developing what we call weak ties. In any social network, we'll have people we spend lots of time with, people who are close friends and family, and we often describe those as people we have strong ties with. In this context, I want to look at those people we might have weak ties with. They're still in our social network, but they're people we don't see a lot of, we don't spend a lot of time interacting with them. For example, in a work situation, they may work in a different part of the institution or a different part of the company, but you see them from time to time. They're people you might describe as acquaintances. Weak ties are perhaps those people where, if you're developing those kinds of relationships a little bit, perhaps they're the ones who have opportunities that you wouldn't normally have access to. So I want to consider ways in which you might be able to develop those kinds of weak ties. Now, this might involve stepping out of your comfort zone. We're very good at spending lots of time with people who we are comfortable with, that we know very well, and we don't like to push ourselves outside of those comfortable positions. In terms of developing weak ties, it may mean having conversations with people you wouldn't normally have conversations with. It might mean putting yourself in a situation you're not normally comfortable with. Now, I'm not talking about taking any unnecessary risks. It's about putting yourself out there so that you might have interactions with people that you wouldn't normally have detailed interactions with. So we'll look at how we might step out of our comfort zone. And it'll also involve maybe changing your routine. Can you be doing something different than what you would normally do, and can that help not only develop those weak ties, but also give you opportunities to do something you wouldn't normally do? And maybe in that situation, that's where you might increase the opportunity for luck experiences. So they're just 3 ideas that you might be able to think about in terms of creating your own opportunities. Now, of course, this is what we want you to do in terms of your luck journal. So don't forget your luck journal. It's a place where you can record any thoughts or experiences that relate to what we've talked about this week, as well as previous sessions. In terms of noticing opportunities, we have this idea of, can you find ways in which you can relax? Now, when you simply describe to somebody, oh, just find ways to relax, often that's not so easily done. So it may well be that you could try some of those mindfulness exercises. Does that help you at least bring your attention back to the present moment? Are there other things you can also do to help create a more relaxed and open attitude to what's going on around you? Try to spend some time noticing coincidences. And at this stage, it could be quite small coincidences. They don't need to be things which are enormously striking. Just noticing that from time to time, things will coincide. You may find that one person, whilst listening to the radio or watching the TV, says something, and it's about a topic you had read about a little bit earlier. No striking coincidence, but it's still something worth noting. It may well be that if you spend time nurturing that way of noticing coincidences, then you start seeing them more and more. So that's something that you could note down. Or any ways in which these kinds of processes help you to notice how perhaps your relaxed, more open attitude impacts upon the kinds of opportunities which may be there in your environment anyway. And find opportunities to stand back and see the bigger picture. When you're looking at things, don't just look at the individual parts of it. Are there ways in which you can see a much bigger pattern emerging? And that's something we want to encourage you to do. That's in terms of noticing opportunities. Creating opportunities, we talked about those weak ties, so maybe you want to focus on or consider who would be those weak ties in your circle of your social network. Are there ways in which you can nurture them, develop them? That might involve striking up conversations with people who you wouldn't normally have a conversation with. Somebody you would know from work or that you might see on a regular basis, but at best you might normally just say hello to them. Is there a way in which you can put yourself out of that comfort zone to see if it can perhaps create an opportunity in that respect? And consider making changes to your routine. You might have a normal way in which you would walk to work or go and catch the bus in a certain direction. Is there a different way in which you could do it? Are there other things you could change about your everyday routine which is enough to create those kinds of opportunities? It's getting into the habit, as it were, of looking at ways in which you can do that. So these are all possibilities you can consider over the next couple of weeks in terms of, first of all, thinking of ways in which you might be able to cultivate a mindset, a way of interacting with what's going on around you. So first of all, you can notice more opportunities. And secondly, are there things you can be doing to slowly increase the chances of more of these opportunities coming your way? And on that note, we come to the end of the session, the third session of Go Look Yourself. So thank you again for your attention, and we look forward to welcoming you back for session 4. So thanks.